63 years old, but looks 30. And this isn't an exaggeration for the sake of a catchy headline. Lorraine Pascale's appearance truly makes you stop and ask, how old is she really? But what's even more interesting is what lies behind this appearance. You could say she's simply blessed with genetics. You could chalk it up to self-care, or you could try to figure out what habits over the years help someone maintain such a youthful appearance and vigor. And today, we'll explore her approach in more detail, because behind the appearance of a 30-year-old woman at 63, there may be very real principles of healthy aging that are accessible to everyone. And the best part is, many of them don't require huge sums of money, complicated procedures, or drastic lifestyle changes. So watch this video to the end. It'll be interesting and useful. So let's get started. And here the first principle is especially simple. Keep moving. Lorraine leads an active lifestyle, and this is much more important than it seems. As we age, the body naturally begins to lose muscle mass and strength if we don't exercise them enough. And muscles aren't just a way to look toned. They help maintain independence, stability, the ability to climb stairs, carry groceries, get up from a chair, and move normally in everyday life. That's why physical activity is one of the most fundamental investments in healthy aging. And to achieve this, you don't necessarily have to turn your life into a never-ending fitness marathon. One of the smartest approaches is to make movement part of your daily routine. Walk, use the stairs more often, go for a walk, do housework, bike rides, swim, or do body weight exercises. And if you already exercise, it's helpful to combine aerobic exercise with strength training. For example, 2 or 3 strength training sessions a week can be much more beneficial for long-term fitness maintenance than infrequent, strenuous workouts. But movement is only half the story. Lorraine's second principle is particularly interesting because she doesn't adhere to the idea of constant, rigid dietary restrictions. She eats without fanatical prohibitions, but at the same time, she makes healthier choices. And herein lies an important insight. Healthy eating doesn't have to be a punishment. Too many people perceive healthy eating as a list of forbidden foods. No sweets, no bread, no fatty foods, no eating in the evening, no dessert sometimes. As a result, eating becomes a system of restrictions that is difficult to maintain for years. And for longevity, what's far more important is not a perfect 2-week diet, but a diet that a person can maintain for decades. Another important characteristic of Lorraine's is that she doesn't turn her pursuit of youth into a never-ending battle against aging. She continues to enjoy life. For her, age isn't a reason to give up what brings her joy. She remains active, spends time outdoors, pursues her own interests, blogs, socializes, and continues to be interested in the world around her. And this is much more important than it might seem. When a person constantly thinks only about how not to age, they gradually begin to limit their own lives. So Lorraine can be seen not as someone who is trying to cheat her age, but as someone who simply doesn't let age dictate how she lives her life. And this brings us to another aspect of Lorraine's image. She takes care of her appearance. Here, too, it's important to avoid extremes. Skincare can indeed improve its appearance, but cosmetics can't stop biological aging. However, proper basic skincare can support the skin's barrier, reduce dryness, and protect the skin from environmental factors. The most effective strategy is usually much simpler than a huge shelf of jars. Gentle cleansing, moisturizing, and regular sun protection already do much more for the skin than constantly switching between dozens of products. If you want to use active ingredients against signs of aging, it's better to focus on proven ingredients and consider your individual skin tolerance, rather than buying anything that promises minus 10 years in a week. But there's one thing you can't buy in a jar: your attitude toward yourself. And this aspect of Lorraine's story is particularly interesting. She accepts herself while continuing to care for her appearance. At first glance, this may seem contradictory. In fact, these are two completely compatible positions. You can embrace your age and still want to look good. You can embrace natural body changes and still exercise. You can understand that you're not 30 and still wear the clothes you like, travel, blog, learn new things, and make plans. The problem begins when caring about your appearance turns into a constant battle with age. If you look in the mirror every morning, looking for the next new wrinkle, you may look younger but feel much older. And psychological well-being is an important part of healthy aging. It's also significant that Lorraine maintains her blog and remains publicly active. Any activity that forces a person to communicate, create something new, learn, and be involved in life is potentially far more valuable than the idea of simply resting in retirement. The brain needs exercise too. As we age, it's especially important not to turn life into a wait-and-see moment when there's nothing left to do. Learning new things, creating, working on projects, socializing, reading, mastering technology, traveling, and experiencing new things help maintain intellectual and social activity. There's no single activity that guarantees a rejuvenated brain, but being constantly involved in life is far more productive than a passive existence, because true youth isn't the absence of every wrinkle. It's the ability to climb stairs without fear, go shopping on your own, travel, connect with people, try new things, make plans for the next year, and wake up every morning with the sense that there's still so much more to come. So instead of asking, how can I look 30 at 60? Perhaps you should ask yourself, what can I do today to feel my best at 60? And the answer is likely much simpler than we're used to thinking. Move, eat a varied diet, maintain muscle tone, get fresh air, sleep, take care of your skin. Don't ruin your health with bad habits. Friends, what do you think of this woman? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful. We also recommend watching this video that's currently appearing on your screen.